Get my microphone set. If you do come on board, would you please let me know if my sound is okay? You come online with me. Let me get that turned a little bit. So, as you can see, I have my Garden Father Christmas shirt on from my grandkids. I was going to work in the garden, but the garden, the temperature outside is in the 20s, and I decided that was not going to be conducive to me working outside. The ground's frozen, and I'm not going to be able to dig stuff up and everything. So if you come online and you can hear me, please just let me know if my microphone is working properly. Very good. Very good. Got my Garden Father shirt on. So anyways, hopefully you can hear me. If not, just mention it in there in my audio and I'll try to unplug stuff. Today I decided, awesome. I like biscuits. You see, I have some various biscuit stuff on my channel, and I have this Scottish cookbook. And so instead of going outside today and freezing, I'm going to do my gardening one tomorrow, but I'm going to be doing some inside gardening, getting ready for the spring. But today we're going to do these things called Scottish oatmeal biscuits. They're a pretty quick cook. So I figured, why not, instead of doing a video and editing it and all that, I would just do it live. It's not going to take us long. But it's very odd. So it takes 4 ounces of flour. Most of this is going to be in weight, not in volume, as far as measurements. So I have 4 ounces of flour in my little mini food processor. To that, it's 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to churn that up for a second, get it mixed. Come on now. Try that again. This is light enough so I can shake it around. I'm going to get that all incorporated. So because it's they're older recipes, some of the stuff is called out a little bit differently. But this calls for 2 ounces of medium oatmeal, which I have here. So it takes 2 ounces of just medium oatmeal. These are just steel ground oats. And then it calls for 2 ounces of fine oatmeal. So I took it and put it in my mixer here and added it that way. So I'm going to add in some of the, see how it goes. This is a small unit, so we'll see how it all mixes. I think I might have to just go to a bowl. So we'll get that kind of incorporated. And the bowl is just going to be too small. So what I'm going to do is remove the blades. You got to be careful with these things. Those babies are sharp, really sharp. And get this out. Let me get a bowl. So what's interesting about this recipe is I'm not quite sure if they're supposed to rise and puff up like a Southern style biscuit. And that's kind of the the question I'm having. Typically, I would test one of these beforehand, but that's not happening today. So there's my 2 ounces of fine oats. There's my 2 ounces of medium oats. We'll get that all incorporated. And what's even weirder yet is it calls for 2 ounces of, 4 ounces of sugar. I'm sorry, 2 ounces of sugar. So this has 2 ounces of sugar. That's a lot of sugar for 4 ounces of flour. So I'm not sure what to expect. So as you can see, all of my dry ingredients are incorporated. Then what it says is to take rub in the fats. So it calls for 1 ounce of butter. And again, this is another odd thing of this. It's 1 ounce of butter. So that's one of the fats. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dice that up really quick. And then let me just turn this down a little bit. Hopefully you guys can get a view of that. So this is cold butter. And with that cold butter, I'm just going to drop that into my flour and my oatmeal mixture. And like I said, I have no idea what's going to happen here. Butter over there. And then it says 1 ounce of cooking fat. So because it's an older book, and this I've seen in this book, it uses stuff like beef drippings and lard. I'm going to use my fat. The fat I'm going to use is bacon fat. Because just plain old lard or some beef drippings aren't always that flavorful, where this is going to be. This will add a little level of flavor. So then you just take your fork, and if you've ever made biscuits, you know you got to cut it in. I'm going to get in here a second with my hands, because once I get this folded in together pretty good, I have to add some wet ingredients. And again, it's a very odd recipe for biscuits. It calls for eggs, an egg, and some milk. So I'm intrigued. There are some really weird oddities with the Scottish cookbook. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me just get a little bowl here. Get my little whisk. Get a sip of coffee. Got to have a sip of coffee. And if you're familiar with biscuit making, temperature's 350. Typically with biscuits, you're running 425, 450. One of the biscuit recipes I have calls for 475. So you can see what you can do with your hand is don't be afraid to get dirty. This is what they did back in the day. A lot of people still do it this way. My grandmother always made bread and biscuits like this by hand. So I've got that pretty incorporated. It kind of looks like wet sand. And now what I'm going to do, let me move that. That is a farm fresh egg from my daughter. My daughter has chickens, and she gave me 48 fresh eggs. So I'm pretty psyched about that. So let me break the egg. And then it calls for a tablespoon of milk. Then it calls for that to be whisked together. And then it calls for me to mix that in. But before I do that, it does call for just a pinch of salt. That'll do. Okay, so let's incorporate all this. So again, I'm pretty intrigued with this. Not really sure what to expect yet. So then it calls to mix this all together. Okay, so let's mix it all together. If you have ever, hey JC, I'm making Scottish oatmeal biscuits. I like to make biscuits and it's too cold to work outside in the garden. So I found this recipe in my Scottish cookbook here. And I just figured since it's a pretty quick one, I would go live. So now what I'm going to do, to get all that off of there. Biscuit making can be messy, but that's okay. Then you bring it kind of all together. Get it in the corner, you push down on it, it will pick up all the dry ingredients like that. It kind of looks like I'm making oatmeal cookies, but these are biscuits. So pretty psyched. Okay. Let me toss out some flour here. This in a ball. Now, a lot of people say don't use a roller, don't use a roller on your biscuits. This one actually says use a roller. So you'll have to bear with me. Let me just flip that one more time. I'm just kind of working it together out with my hand first. Toss a little flour on top so it doesn't stick. All right. And it says to roll it out to a 1/4 inch. Not sure I'm going to get there, but we will give it a try. Might be a little thicker. And now, you know, this has baking powder in it. So they're expecting a rise. I don't know how much, but that's going to be close enough. What I do then is I'm going to take my tray. This is just an old aluminum 1-cup measuring cup. And I'm just going to run through real quick. These look pretty interesting. I'm going to tell you. Then you set them here. It says put them on a greased cookie sheet. I'm just going to use parchment paper because I make my own rules. You know, Okies does not follow convention. That one's stuck a little bit. That's okay. And it doesn't say whether to push them against each other or not. I'm going to, because that's how I learned biscuits. Because that's how you help them to rise. And then there's one more little trick they tell you after you get that together like that. So let me roll them again. Put a little more flour out here so they don't stick. Close enough. These Might be okay. I'll probably get one more biscuit. And like I always say, you'll get one ugly biscuit. So this will be the ugly biscuit. It's going to be a little thicker, a little bigger. I'm not going to bother cutting it out. Good enough. Get it rolled out. That's going to be the big biscuit. We'll give that a look-see. So then what it says is, take a fork, and it says prick all over. I'm going to call that all over. Then it says throw in a 350 oven for 15 to 20 minutes. So it's in the oven. We'll go 15 minutes. All right. Well, while I'm waiting, let's pop in here real quick. And while I'm standing here, hopefully you can see my new shirt from my grandkids, the garden father. Oh, booby goats. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm done though. It's done. It only took me 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't take long. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's from my grandkids. Let me shut this light off out here. Let me get my coffee. I'm not sure. How is everybody else's temperature? It is in the 20s here in southern Oklahoma. The big cookie's yours. It's not a cookie. It's a biscuit, Janet. It is out of this, my Scottish cooking book, and it's called Scottish Oatmeal Biscuits. I've never seen anything like it. I know sometimes like British biscuits, that we all call them something different. We call biscuits a biscuit. 34 degrees. Yes, it was. It's been 80 here the last 3 or 4 days. It's been the 70s the week before. And I went out last night, pulled the dirt up over my volunteer potatoes, covered them with the plastic thing, so they should be safe. The frost shouldn't hurt them. And then I think we're supposed to be back in the 60s by the weekend, so I can take the cover off again. They'll re-sprout. I'll continue to water them. Then I'll cover them again, and then I'll just at one point we'll go out together and alive, and we will see what kind of potato harvest I get from harvesting my volunteer potatoes. If you go to my community page, you'll see where I have every day I've been adding, like I put 2 people on there for people to support, and I'm adding new people. So like Booby Goats has been added. We started following each other, and then I have a couple homesteaders I'm following, and I'm going to slowly add new ones to that list. But then I did put a community post out today that if you want me to run your stuff, even if I've already run them, go put a comment there on that community post and just make a comment. You don't have to say playlist or watch hours, just comment hey or something, and I add you immediately. And then 2 by 2, I will add them. I'm on January 1st, January 2nd, and then I'm going to be starting January 3rd, 4th, and 5th, obviously. So we get into next week. It'll be I'll be mixing in new people. Oh, that's okay, CL. I'll mix, and I will mix in people that I have supported for the whole time I've been on YouTube. Doesn't matter if I've supported you 15 times with a shout out. If you go to that thing and you put your name down, you'll get mixed in over the next couple of weeks, and we'll try to get her done. I know Dr. Ninja Turtle, I think, was at 990 now. He's trying to hit the 1,000. I know, and like I said, if you're close, put down in the comment when you go to that community post, put down in the comment if you're 50 away or if I need 22 watch hours to make monetization. Give me some specifics, and I'll do an actual shout out on that specific metric that you need. So I'll actually put your name in there, your channel, and say, hey, this channel needs this many. Can we help them out? And people have been very receptive to that. They just go in and help because we're in a really good community. So got that done. I'm getting ready for tomorrow. Once it warms up, hey, Grandma Teresa. Once the biscuits will be out in about 10 minutes, we're going to check the biscuits out. I did them right to the recipe. Sometimes I change it a little bit, but the recipe is so odd. I wanted to have a baseline to see what I needed to do. I know I could add bacon. I know I could add cheddar cheese. There's a lot of things I could do. But what intrigued me was the amount of flour to sugar ratio. It was a lot of sugar for those biscuits. So we'll see. What would be delicious is instead of sugar, I could go to a brown sugar and then cook up some bacon in like a brown sugar sauce, and then mix that in as the liquid instead of like the milk. I would use the liquid from the bacon juices and stuff. I would use that as the liquid, and then you'd have a brown sugar bacon biscuit. So, but that's down the road. I wanted to, like I said, the baseline for this biscuit, I weighed everything out exactly. So this is 100% what it's going to taste like here or in Scotland. So we're going to find out here in about 5-10 minutes. But in the meantime, I am going to tomorrow, I'm going to have dirt in my buckets in here. I'm not going to be able to really work outside tomorrow. It's going to be windy and cold, and it's going to get annoying. And when you watch my videos, you know that I'm already annoying. So you don't need me and the weather being annoying. One annoying thing at a time on my videos. So, but I'm going to bring dirt in. I'm going to start planting some of the seeds I got from my subscribers, from my subscriber garden. Some of them have not worked in the hydroponics, so I'm going to start them in regular dirt and see how that works out. And then trying to get some seedlings and stuff, which I'll start probably right towards the end of January. I'll do a bunch of seedlings in my hydroponics, and then I'll be ready to hit the ground running when I start to do my garden, the subscriber garden in the spring. It's going to go quick. And I do have posts. I have stuff ready for the plaques for each person, each subscriber that sent me seeds. That'll be placed in front of their plants that I'm growing. So I'm going to try to have that ready for tomorrow so you can see it. It may or may not. I have to go out to the shop in a little while, turn the heater on, let that warm up, and then I got to cut a few more posts, and I got to cut some angles on things. And hey, Teacher Kelly. So we're down to about 5 minutes, and we'll give these Scottish biscuits, these Scottish oatmeal biscuits, a try. I think by now you've probably all seen this. It's my Scottish cookbook. And I also have my Garden Father shirt on for my grandkids. But this is just it's taken from an old Scottish cookbook, redone. But here's the names. You ready for some of the names here? Feather Fowley. It's a Scottish cookbook. Poacher's Soup. Grouse Soup. Scotch Kale. Hotchpotch Herst Brie, Pusati sheep's head broth with a brain sauce. Highland hot pot, Tweed kettle, trout fried in oatmeal, ham and hattie, tatties and herring, potted salmon, creamed finnan hattie. They got, I mean, some of the names. Yeah, the brain sauce. No. Collops in the pan, mince chicken. If I had an accent, it would sound funnier. I can't do Scottish and English accents. Galantine of venison and pork. That doesn't sound bad, actually. Kingdom of Fife pie. Mutton pies. Chicken stovies. That sounds really good. The cheese potato cakes, the Scottish cheese potato cakes I made. Iran potato salad. I'm going to try that one definitely. The Scottish oatmeal biscuits, which I'm doing right now. Buttery brownies. We call what we call brownies and what they call brownies are two different things. It's 1 pound of flour, 1 ounce of bacon. I have not. No, I have not. Buttery. Yeah. So it's 1 pound of flour, 1 ounce of baker's yeast, 2 teaspoons of dried yeast, ½ ounce of sugar, 6 ounces of butter, 6 ounces of lard, 3/4 pints of tepid water, and a small teaspoon of salt. So I don't know what that's going to do. Yes, I am in Oklahoma. BAPs are flour, salt, sugar, fat, yeast, milk, and water. Then they got petticoat tails. And so here's what I mean when you start getting into some older cookbooks. This is a newer cookbook like from the 70s, but it's taken from way back. Like here they call for flour, butter, sugar, and 1/2 gill of milk. Yeah, put your stuff up there, people. Go ahead. Feel free to put your channel name up there. Connect with each other, whatever. Then they got Scott's crumpets. I've never made crumpets. That's going to be one of the things I'm going to make. I was actually going to make the crumpets this morning, but it has cream of tartar, however you say it. I didn't have any cream of tartar, so I'm going to try to do that maybe next week. Saucer pancakes is just a basic pancake recipe. And then, of course, Scottish plum pudding, which we've all heard about. Scott's trifle diet loaf. Caledonian cream, Rowan jelly, and the last but not least in the book is, 2 of them, Orkney cheese. Orkney cheese and Athol brose. Brose? I don't know. Oatmeal, honey, water, and whiskey. I might just have to try that one. Huh. Athol brose. I'll try that one. But anyways, let me just check on our biscuits real quick. Sit tight, everybody, because I'm hoping these rise. Okay, I put it in for 2 extra minutes. So it's another 4 minutes, they'll be done. Then we can try them out. I'm excited about them because they're not a southern biscuit that you would want to throw gravy on. They're going to be sweet because they have 2 ounces of sugar in them, which ends up being like 3 tablespoons, I think, is what it measured out to be. So it's got flour, oatmeal, then some ground oatmeal, and then some sugar, egg, and butter. And for flavor, for my flavored fat, I used bacon grease. So it should be a sweet bacony, hopefully, flavor. And then we're going to go from there. I'll do a video an actual edited video maybe in a week or two with maybe some changes I made. They rose to about this big. They're not going to be flaky like a Southern biscuit, which I didn't think they would be, because you add the liquid and the weight of the egg. Then you add in the oatmeal. It's just not going to rise like it would a regular Southern biscuit. But now that I've opened it, it smells like oatmeal cookies in here. It smells really good. Due to the amount of sugar, you could easily do 1 ounce of regular butter. I would do 1 ounce for the other fat. I would use 1 ounce of brown butter, and then I would throw in a half a teaspoon of cinnamon next time. But then you're bordering on oatmeal cookies. So, and these are biscuits. I don't know. Has anybody ever heard of Scottish oatmeal biscuits? Because I know I never have. Thank you, everybody, for watching that potato cake recipe. That was also from this book. Those fried potato cakes was from this Scottish book. And I thought they were great. Next time, I'll be honest with you, next time I might add a little mozzarella to those. I would add mozzarella to those potato cakes. I would add the cheddar for the flavor, so you get the sharpness of the cheddar. And then I would also add maybe an ounce or two of mozzarella to get the cheese pull as you pull it apart. But then instead of leaving them the thickness I did, I would take them down to about 1/4 of an inch. That way it's more of a flash fry. You flip them, give them a minute, flip them, a minute, they're done. They're crispy, a little bit of soft inside. And in my opinion, if you make them and they're made correctly, they're, oh, you're making a pumpkin roll. That's awesome. I love pumpkin roll. Then I would definitely try them. I think they're better than just regular hash browns. So next time for breakfast, when we have like the weekend and I do eggs and sausage or something, I'm going to make those potato pancakes. And then, because what you can do is make a batch of them, a big batch. And then what I'm going to do next time is we'll eat the 1 or 2 or 3 that we want for breakfast. And then I will just wrap the other ones. And then when I want more, we'll just pull them out. I might even freeze a few to try just to see how it works. But then I'll throw them in the air fryer for 5 minutes when you want to do the leftovers, and they will crisp up, I bet, so good. So there's so many things you can do with some of the cooking devices we have now that you couldn't do years ago because you didn't have them. Okay, let's go check this out, everybody. Here we go. The big reveal. Yeah. Yeah. Turn that on, turn that off, turn the oven off. All right. Let us see what we got here. I should have cleared this a little bit, but let's clear this table. We'll put the rack down. Let me get us out of the light here so we're not getting a glare. There we go. All right. Okay. So there they are. Whoops, they almost slid. Those are Scottish biscuits, Scottish oatmeal biscuits. See if I can turn this down a little bit so you guys can see them better. Hopefully they'll show up a little bit better. There we go. Got some glare coming in. And turn this light off. Boom. See if that helps. Okay, so there we have it. What I do see right away off the bat, I'm seeing the shininess of the sugar. You probably don't see it on camera, but the sugar, as it melted, it shined up a little bit. I just kind of want to get a feel for it here. So they didn't really rise. They probably went to about 3/8 of an inch. It is a little warm. Bottom browned up beautifully. So let me do this. Let me do this. Let me put butter on one. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I have a plain one. I have a plain. I have a buttered one. I have one with pure maple syrup. This is from upstate New York. One of my neighbors makes this. This one's just about empty. That is beautiful. Mm-mm-mm. If you've never had pure maple syrup, you're missing out. And a little bit of strawberry jam. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go get comfortable. We're going to go get comfortable while we do this. All right. So, here's what we have, everybody. Scottish oatmeal biscuits. Plain buttered pure maple syrup jam. And coffee to cleanse the palate. Okay, here we go. Let's break this open, see what it looks like. Okay. Okay, so you smell the oatmeal? Mm. Okay. You really get the sugar. Boom. Because it uses a lot of sugar. Does not taste like an oatmeal cookie. Don't judge. Yes, I'm going to eat all 4 of these. Haven't had breakfast. Okay. Butter. This one is the buttered one, and some of it ran down through, and this is gonna be good. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, definitely, definitely. The crispiness on the bottom. Now I know why they like these. This is really good. For flavors, I would not change a thing. I mean, I know they like to put their little toppings and condiments on, but the plain one, even the plain one, due to the sugar, is delicious. Next time, if I do them, I'll do brown sugar with a brown butter, and that'll pop. Maple syrup. Mm. These, I will make these again for my family. Mm. These are almost, I like oatmeal cookies, but I could eat a few of these and almost not feel guilty. You know, they got the sweetness, but they're not super heavy. They're actually very light. Okay, here we go. Little strawberry jam, little strawberry jammy jam. Mmm. Wow. Wow. Excuse me. Pardon me. So, Scottish oatmeal biscuits. I would give them a try. If I remember, I'll go back later and I'll put, yes, yes, coach. I was mentioning that I would definitely, definitely, definitely chop up some fine bacon and put it in there. That would be delicious. Oddly enough, I don't, hey, calves, oddly enough, I don't taste the bacon grease in there. That did not come through. Now, it was only an ounce. So it was quite a bit of sugar, quite a bit of flour for that amount of fat. So, but I'll tell you what, I'll make them again. I would probably make them and I'll probably freeze some because I'll tell you what would be really good like that is you take two of them and you put some bacon between them or some ham or something. That would be delicious. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Tiffany. Hey, Rosanna. So after this goes public, maybe about 15, 20 minutes after I go public with this, I'll put this recipe in there in case you want to try them. Because you guys watched me. I made them real time. The only thing I did was I had all my ingredients pulled out, which I always do. Hey, everybody, go check out Rosanna's TV vlog 7/7. Or Rosanna, go ahead and put your channel name in there. Uh, I watch her quite often. She's on it. Obviously, she's in a different time zone. So sometimes it happens to be if I'm with my grandson, it pops at a time where I'm up. So I get to watch her stuff if I'm up. Uh, Janet, I'm going to, like I said, I'll post this in a little while. Anybody here, I would love for you guys to try them watching from the Philippines. Yes, that's what I thought. So it's Rosanna TV vlog. And there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Hardnack. Thank you, Wendy. Um, So I'll put the recipe in there. Please try these. It took me 10 minutes to mix together. I did prep the oatmeal. That was the only thing I did. I did grind up the oatmeal in my food processor, but that's all I did to prepare. I always pull my ingredients out. So I have everything before I make it. You can confirm you're not missing anything. I used to do that in the past. I forget I didn't have an egg. Then I got to stop everything, run to the store, get some eggs, and come back. Just lay everything out in ramekins and cups and plates and saucers or whatever. And if you lay it all out, you know you got everything, you're set to go. Once you get everything laid out and prepared, it's like making a regular biscuit. It's just boom, 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 throw them in the oven for 15, 20 minutes and they're done. Give them a try. What I would do next, some of them I'll do a garlic butter. I'll brush over the top about 10 minutes in and then let it kind of brown up and bake into the biscuit. Or I'm sorry, yeah, biscuit. It's a biscuit. Give them a try. Give them a try. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for not making me go out in the cold today and work in the garden because I didn't want to. Um, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to prep um, my garden. I'm doing the 2 o'clock live tomorrow, the regular 2 o'clock live I do on Tuesdays. But I'm going to bring a bunch of dirt in my buckets inside to plant some of my subscriber gardens things. And then, oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Chris Outdoors. Um, So I'm going to bring everything in. I got to get the dirt in the buckets, get them in here so that the soil normalizes overnight, because you don't want to transplant into cold soil. If I transplant seedlings, I have a bunch of tomato seedlings and peppers. If I take them from 70 degrees and I transplant them in 35-degree soil, it's probably going to kill them. It'll destroy the roots or whatever, and it'll probably either retard the growth or kill them. So we're going to do that tomorrow. So hopefully you guys can all be here for that. I might take you outside real quick just to show you some of the changes. And that'll be a real quick thing. Just run through the gardens and then come back in, because I have made more additions and done more stuff outside. So we're continuing to do that till we start to plant. So with that said, everybody have a great day. Thanks for supporting my channel. I see everybody was commenting and welcoming each other. Please continue to support each other as a community. And if you go to my community posts, you'll see I put a post there that if you want to be included in shout outs, even if I've done shout outs for you before, go down, just make a comment. You don't have to put any other thing. Just say, hey, hi, hello. Okies Eden, you're the best channel on YouTube. You're a superstar. Uh, you have awesome clothes. Your grandfather's shirts are awesome. Just something about a comment. You don't have to say watch hours or anything. Just make something appear, and then I will add you to that list. And throughout January, I have a bunch of new channels that have come on that I follow. They follow me. I'm going to be adding them, probably a 1-in-1 ratio, where I do one that's a regular of mine that wants to be on the playlists, and then one of the new people, so I can get them started, hopefully, and get them some more notoriety, and then they can hopefully move forward. And then, of course, collaborations. If you want to collaborate with me, I already have 3 set up, 2 now in January 8th and 10th with Spongy and Coach Juliet. And then Whistle Stop's Homestead's having me on the 15th of February. So if you want to collaborate, please email me, okieseden@gmail.com, okieseden@gmail.com, and we'll get her done. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Try to stay warm if you're in a cold environment. Try to stay cool if you're in a hot environment. Do what you got to do. Peace out.